With Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the horizon, I decided to go ahead and flip it up. We'll have the sunshine, happy-go-lucky Pokemon game soon, but let's go ahead and get on the other side of the spectrum. In this one, I want to talk about Doom and Gloom, Pokemon Colosseum, probably one of the more edgier Pokemon games released. This was one of the first Pokemon home console games, but it also had a story to it. So let's not waste any more time. How good is Pokemon Colosseum? Now, in reference to the quick intro, Pokemon Colosseum gets you going real soon. This game has you playing as a new Pokemon protagonist, West, and he's kinda cool. I mean, literally frame 1, this dude is robbing some gang because he really wants their loot. And it's even more swaggy because after he robs them with his goated sunglasses, he hops in his nice motorcycle with his Umbreon and Espeon. Now, I don't understand what it is about West, but he just got that dog in him. Besides the terrible pictures he takes with duck lips, he just has a raw design. You can compare his design to Elo. I mean, look at this goober. You can't tell me he's about this life. But besides West, there's another character that you find that's just casually being kidnapped. I mean, literally, she's just being dragged across the floor in a sack. But lo and behold, when you find out who it actually is, you find your true love. Misty. Wait, hold on, who? I mean, come on now, y'all. You know this is Misty. She's missing one little spiky tail, that's it. But anyways, West and Misty travel to a region together. Their whole goal is to find out who's creating shadow Pokemon and turning their hearts to evil. Now, what are shadow Pokemon? I mean, they're just bad Pokemon, but they can be turned to good Pokemon. I mean, this is a Pokemon game. I don't know what you expect. Now, I'm sorry, but to spoil the game for you, we end up finding out who's doing it. The first big baddie you see is NASCAR. NASCAR? Pfft. But once you put him down in the dirt, you finally see Dr. Robotnik. But besides that, the game's pretty linear. There's not too many other big twists and turns within this game. So let's go ahead and get started. What are the pros within Pokemon Colosseum? Now, to be completely honest with you, there's not a lot. However, this game does deliver on a couple things you want to see in Pokemon games anyways. So let's start with number uno here is the difficulty. Now, this game's format is made on the new mechanic, which is double battles. There aren't too many fights that you'll do that are not double battles. So that's honestly a good thing for difficulty levels. Fighting 2 is usually going to be harder than fighting 1. And in this game, there's not a lot of grinding that you'll be able to do. For example, a lot of the Pokemon that you're going to fight at the end of the game are going to be kissing 60. And lo and behold, you'll be kissing 62. They also decided to add another mode called the battle mode. And in here you'll be fighting with Pokemon that all have the same flat level. But to be completely honest, sometimes it may get a little bit difficult. You'll realize that these challenges are a bit higher than Pokemon today. For example, the most random trainer may pull up with a Kyogre. Now how does he have one? I have no clue because you can't get one. But clearly these guys must be ghosts because they have the challenge that you want to see, so whatever. Now the second thing on this list here is that this is a big boy game. Maybe a better term is that it's more mature. The thing with Pokemon games is you always feel like it's a little bit too childish. Now before you start running to the comments telling me how Pokemon games are made for kids, I understand that, I know, stop it. I'm saying it's cool that you're not doing the same formula that you do in every other game. You don't start at your parents' house waiting to get yourself some running shoes so you can go get your first Pokemon and collect 8 gym badges. It is a fresher breath air, even though they did push it to the extreme a little bit. I mean, you were once a part of this gang that you're now stealing from to go steal other people's Pokemon. So at the end of the day, I mean, Wes is just a thug. But I can't hate it. Game Freak giving you an actual story that makes you feel like you're not on autopilot throughout the whole thing is actually fun. Now these are some pretty simple topics, and a lot of the positives inside this game were already mentioned inside Ruby and Sapphire. But there is one other thing that should be a positive for this game, but it's not. So here we go. The one big con about this game that is a make or break. The Shadow Pokemon. Shadow Pokemon are exclusive for only Gale of Darkness and Colosseum. Nothing else. To give you a good imagery of what it was supposed to be, do you know about shiny Pokemon? I talked about it before in my Johto video. Shiny Pokemon have nothing special about them whatsoever except a color scheme. Meaning, if you have a shiny Snubbull compared to a regular Snubbull, it doesn't do anything for you in battle. You don't get a special move, there's no special ability, nothing like that. You are exactly the same as the other Snubbull. But the thing is, the chances of getting a shiny Pokemon are still pretty high, so it is rare, but it's only a color scheme and nothing else. But this is not the only example of a different type of Pokemon. Some other examples you may know about are Richie's Pikachu, or maybe the Crystal Onyx. And if anything, maybe you know about the pink Butterfree that Ash's Butterfree left his homies for. Now these special Pokemon exist in both the anime and the games. Now people have been asking for these special Pokemon within more of the franchise time and time again. However, you did get these special Pokemon because they're Shadow Pokemon. Shadow Pokemon are created from good Pokemon that have had their hearts turned. And as the bad boy West, you're tasked to go find all these Shadow Pokemon and save them. The way you find out that they're Shadow Pokemon is by using your Misty lookalike that can literally just stare at them and know that they're a Shadow Pokemon. That's it. But on the other hand, if you don't want to catch these shadow Pokemon, you don't have to. But for longtime Pokemon fans, you might as well catch them. You want to know why? Because there's no wild Pokemon in this region. You don't have a choice. There is no tall grass so you can go catch a Shroomish wherever you want to find them. So that means if you see somebody that has a Shroomish and it's a shadow Pokemon, you better go steal that boy. Now, in a game of gotta catch them all, I don't understand why Game Freak decided to not give you the chance to catch them all. It might as well be steal them all, because whatever you can find, you take. But it gets worse than that, because not only do you have to steal the Pokemon, you have to purify the Pokemon. Now, the purification system is just disgusting. I mean, this thing asks you to walk around, it asks you to battle with them, and they only know one move. And that move sucks. Different Pokemon have different gauges depending on their nature, and you don't find out the nature till later on within the gauge. It's just pitiful. I feel disgusted talking about it. But the worst part about purifying a Pokemon is the fact that once you purify it, it is nothing special about it whatsoever. Remember when I said shiny Pokemon at least have a different color about them? Well, not a purified Pokemon. They have the same moveset, the same ability, and the same color as a normal Pokemon would have. It would be different if I could go steal a Shadow Tyranitar that had the ability Static, or the attack Water Pulse. But no, he does not. Matter of fact, Tyranitar is one of the hardest Pokemon to purify. And because he's one of the Pokemon you get later in the game, it's almost not even worth purifying him. Now, is one bad mechanic enough to destroy a game? The answer is yes. This game revolves around Shadow Pokemon, and because Shadow Pokemon are bad, they might as well have fumbled the bag. And matter of fact, they shouldn't even touch the bag. If you're gonna fumble this mechanic, then don't do it. Now, if you asked me back when this game came out, it was hot. But if you put your personal bias and nostalgia aside, you realize this game ain't it. Now, could I destroy Shadow Pokemon for another 15 minutes? You bet your sweet bippy I could. But I won't, especially because Gale of Darkness fixed a small few things about it. But alas, I have to tell you the truth, and I have to tally it up. Here's what the game is. 6 out of 10. Now, this is the worst grade I've given a game so far, and there's plenty of other things I could have brought up. The sounds being ripped from the GBA, the animations aren't this, but they're dang near close. Overall, I cannot recommend this game for anybody. It is not worth your time nor your money. However, I do hope Game Freak one day re-releases this game, makes a remake of it, whatever. There are signs of greatness here, but Game Freak's gonna have to come out of their shell. And with that being said, Colosseum should be removed out of your bucket list. But hey, thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to see Pokemon Gale of Darkness next, go ahead and show this video some love. And also, if you want to see more game overviews like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Depending on the time you're watching this video, the next time I see you is probably time for a new Pokemon game, so get ready for a flood of those. Otherwise, y'all take it easy. Take care. Peace.